So Patrick Walker is a veteran trader in the US market. He's been trading for more than 4 decades. So I personally have learned a lot from Patrick Walker, especially trade management. When I use the 8-day exponential moving average or the 21-day exponential moving average, that is coming directly from Patrick Walker, which is what I learned from him. The best contribution that Patrick Walker has made in my trading career is those two moving averages. Apart from that, what I have learned from him is how to filter stocks using some fundamental criteria, the basic criteria. Okay. So let us discuss two filters which I learned from Patrick Walker, which I use in my trading. So one is Patrick Walker EPS and Patrick Walker sales. And by the way, I recommend that you go to YouTube, type Patrick Walker trader, and you will find 2-3 good interviews that he has given over the past 2-3 years. And these are very long interviews. He talks about his filtering style, his trade management style, his stop loss management, risk reward, everything with charts. Okay, so you will learn a lot from him. So I strongly recommend that you watch those interviews. It is as good as reading a book. Okay, now let us look at the filters. The first filter, institutional demand. The buyer demand should be A and B. So by the way, this is MarketSmith India website. I use this website to filter stocks. So buyer demand is A and B, means there is good institutional demand for stocks, for these stocks. Group rank should be between 1 and 40. So there are total 197 industry groups as per MarketSmith. I only want to look at top 40. Then the current price is 20 rupees. Current price is more than or equal to 20 rupees. This keeps me away from penny stocks. This ranking is based on the performance of the price performance of the industry itself. I don't know what exactly the formula that they are using. It is proprietary, but I would say they would look at the 52-week performance of a sector or an industry group, and based on that, they give the ranking. So this represents institutional demand. This represents the best industries, the best performing industries in the market. Current price should be more than or equal to 20, which means I want to stay away from penny stocks. Average rupee volume is more than or equal to 10 million, which means I only want to trade in liquid stocks. It should be easy for me to glide in and glide out. I don't want to buy a stock where I buy and then I get stuck. There is no buyer at the other end if I want to sell my stock at the market price. Okay. Average daily volume is more than or equal to 200,000 shares. Average daily volume, number of shares traded per day, should be 200,000 shares at a minimum. When I say average daily volume, I am talking about the 50-day moving average. Okay. Price change versus 52-week high. Now I have kept it minus 25%. So basically, if this is the 52-week high and the stock is within 25% range below the 52-week high, I will consider that stock in my filter. But Patrick Walker recommends 20%. 25% is my number, but Patrick Walker recommends within 20% distance, not 25. So this 25 is a little bit customization that I have made for Indian stocks. So I learn from Patrick Walker, but I put some my own inputs here. And by the way, these are customized filters because Patrick Walker talks about the US market. He doesn't trade the Indian stock market. So I have taken those filters that he uses and applied it to the Indian stock market. And this is what I have finalized. So these filters are for liquidity and for avoiding penny stocks and only looking at stocks which are showing strength, which are near their 52-week high. This is about institutional demand and best performing industries. Okay. So basically what I am doing is I am buying stocks which have institutional demand, who belong to the best performing industries, which are not penny stocks. They have strong liquidity and are near the 52-week high. That statement. Okay. If you listen to that statement over and over again, you will understand what this filter is all about. Okay. Last filter is fundamental. Now, if you notice, Patrick Walker doesn't talk about relative strength, price relative strength, which is very important for me. But to compensate for that, he talks about the earnings strength. So EPS changed last reported quarter. So for example, let's say there is a quarter from April to June. Okay, that April June quarter. Let's say the earnings compared to the previous year April June quarter, if the earnings have gone up 40% or more, then we are interested in the stock. Okay, because historically or statistically, Patrick Walker has found that whenever the quarterly earnings of a stock have gone up more than 40% in 1 year, see, you have to compare the current quarter with the same quarter last year, not the previous quarter. Okay, this is very important. Take the June quarter and compare it to the last year's June quarter results. And if the earnings have gone up 40% or more, that's a stock which is most likely to outperform the overall market based on statistical and historical data. And this statistical historical data, the credit goes to Market Smith and William O'Neill and Company. They have done a lot of research on this. So I give credit where I have to give credit. This is not my research. They have done all the research and they have found out that whenever the earnings of a company go up 40% from one quarter last year till current quarter of this year, if the earnings go up 40%, that's a stock you should pay attention to. So this is one filter. There is a slight change for the second filter. The institutional demand remains the same, group rank remains the same, these filters remain the same. Only difference is sales change. Okay, instead of earnings, we take the sales more than or equal to 40%. So if I look at the June quarter sales of this year and compare this year June quarter sales with the previous year June quarter sales, and if it has gone up more than 40% or more, then I would pay attention to the stock. So basically, what you see in Patrick Walker's philosophy is that he is not looking at relative strength in terms of price. He's not looking at price performance. To compensate for that, he's looking at the fundamental performance of the company itself. See, behind every stock, there is a company. And if the company is doing well in terms of sales growth, earnings growth, chances are eventually the price will catch up. Okay. That is why he's focused more on EPS and sales. So, what I personally do is I use these filters to filter the stocks. Okay. Then, out of those stocks, whichever are showing the highest relative strength and are forming a base, I'm more interested in those kind of stocks because they are showing both technical strength and fundamental strength. Now, here I want to mention one thing. When he talks about quarterly sales performance growth, he talks about 40% in the current quarter compared to the same quarter last year, 40%, or the last two quarters. Okay, the average of the last two quarters should be 40%. Now, that is a filter which I could not put here. I tried, but I could not put here. But what you could do is you could remove this filter, take all the list and check only those stocks where either the current quarter sales growth is 40% or more, or the average of the last two reported quarters. Let's say one quarter it's 60%, another quarter is 30%. So the average becomes 45%, right? So that the current quarter may not be 40%, but the average of the previous two quarters could be 40%, right? Because the previous quarter is more than 40%. Okay. So you can use that method as well. But for simplicity, what I am doing is I am just putting 40% latest quarter. Okay. Just to keep things simple, not over complicating things. Okay. And these filters remain as they are. So if I apply this filter, let's see, I get 31 stocks here. And by the way, this is 31 stocks out of 4,939 stocks in the Indian stock market. Okay, so you can see this filter is rejecting 99.1% of all the stocks in the Indian stock market, which is fabulous. Okay, so you might think, why would you use these filters? Well, You are looking at the companies which are showing very good growth in their fundamentals, like 40% growth in profit or 40% growth in sales annually on a quarterly basis. That is fabulous. That is a company which is doing something right in its business. There is demand for its products where there is sales growth of 40%, or the company is doing something efficient in the business because their earnings have gone up 40%. Okay. So fundamentally sound companies which have institutional demand, which come in the best performing industry group, and which are not penny stocks and have liquidity and are near the 52-week high. Remember that statement. If you listen to this statement again, okay, you will understand why I am so excited about this filter. And this filter can not only be used for trading, but for also positional trading. So swing trading is where you could hold a stock for maybe 1 or 2 months, but positional where you could hold a stock for 3 months, 6 months, or even 1 year. For both kinds of trading styles, this filter is applicable. Whereas some relative strength filters, which I discussed in the yesterday's video, these are only for trading purposes, swing trading purposes, where you would capture shorter moves. Well, a lot of it depends also on the chart pattern and things like that, which I discuss in separate videos. There is no scope for me to discuss that in this video, but I hope you liked Patrick Walker's filters. I like them. I use them, as you can see here, to filter stocks in the Indian stock market. So I have adapted his style or his philosophy to the Indian stock market, and I hope this helps you. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. Please like, comment, or subscribe to my YouTube channel so that this video reaches more people like you, more like-minded people like you, who also want to learn how to trade the breakouts, who also want to learn how to do swing trading and positional trading. So thank you so much for your support. Let me know if you have any questions or discussions in the comment section. Let us discuss this. Thank you so much.